Hello everyone, this is Yaliang from Alibaba Group. In this part, I will describe some real-world applications of causal inference and discuss several potential research directions of causal inference driven by these real-world applications. As causal inference has been studied for several decades from different domains, it has a variety of applications in real-world scenarios. In general, the application of causal inference can be categorized into three directions: decision evaluation, selection bias handling, and counterfactual estimation. First, for decision evaluation, it is a natural application of treatment effect estimation, as it is consistent with the objective of treatment effect estimation. For the second one, causal inference can be used to handle selection bias. In many real-world applications, the records appear in the collected dataset may not be representative of the whole population that we are interested in. Without appropriately handling the selection bias, the performance of the trained models would be hurt. The last one, counterfactual estimation. It can greatly help the areas related to decision making, as it can provide the potential outcomes of different decision choices. First, the application in online advertising. As we know, in the area of online advertising, properly measuring the effect of an advertisement can answer many critical marketing questions. For example, will the ad attract user clicks? Or the question like, will a campaign increase sales? To answer these decision questions, a solution is to conduct randomized experiments such as A/B testing. However, conduct randomized experiments such as A/B testing is time-consuming, expensive, and sometimes even infeasible for real-world applications. Thus, estimating the advertisement effect from observational data is attracting increasing attentions from both industry and research communities. We can cast the above decision evaluation questions as causal inference tasks in the following way. The ads themselves can be regarded as treatments. The output, such as click numbers or sales, can be regarded as outcomes. And ad contents and other information can be regarded as variables. For online advertising, it is easy to collect logged feedback records on the current advertising system and policy, which can be used as observational data. Thus, to answer the above decision evaluation questions, we can estimate the ad effect from observational data. Similarly, causal inference also has various applications in recommendation system. In recommendation, we recommend items to users, which is equivalent to applying specific treatments to units, in which the treatments are items and the units are users. However, the dataset used in recommendations are usually biased due to the selection choices made by users, as users tend to rate the items that they like. For example, in the movie scenario, the horror movie ratings are mostly made by horror movie fans, while less by romantic movie fans. These phenomena lead to the bias that these records in the dataset are not representative of the whole population. This is the selection bias. The selection bias brings the challenges to both recommendation model training and evaluation for real-world scenarios. Moreover, in practice, for those non-displayed items, as we don't have enough information about them in observational data, the recommendation system will less recommend them to users. This loop makes the selection bias worse. Ignoring such selection bias would make the recommendation system has less ability to surprise users, and then cause a loss of revenue for practice. Recently, in the research area of recommendation, increasingly more attention is paid to deal with such distribution differences between the displayed and non-displayed items caused by selection bias. Another important application of causal inference is in the education domain, in which it is possible to compare outcomes of different teaching methods on students, and then a better teaching method can be decided. Moreover, individual treatment estimation can enhance personalized learning by estimating the outcome of each student with different teaching methods. Thus, the individual treatment estimation can be used to answer the questions such as, what would happen if the teacher adopts another teaching method for a particular student? In this way, we can learn the optimal per-student teaching method, which can be one of the promising goals of applying counterfactual estimation methods in the education domain. As we discussed above, applying causal inference methods help many real-world applications, and in turn, these real-world applications also point out several potential research directions for causal inference. Next, we will discuss several potential directions. The first one is that we can study causal inference from the perspective of treatment. As we mentioned above, current causal inference methods find neighbors in terms of similar units. How about finding neighbors in terms of similar treatments? In the applications of advertising and recommendation, each unit, that is a user, can receive thousands or more different treatments per day. This makes it easy to find neighbors in terms of similar treatments instead of similar units in traditional setting. Moreover, in both online advertising and recommendation areas, it is often required to deal with complex treatments instead of the binary or categorical ones. For example, the treatment can have different levels of values or even be continuous values. Also, in real-world applications, the combination of a set of treatments can be applied to users. How to estimate the potential outcomes of treatments with these complex scenarios? All this motivates us to propose new causal inference methods from the perspective of treatment to tackle the above challenges. Another potential research direction is about the evaluation of causal inference methods. In practice, it is very hard to evaluate the performance of different causal inference methods for real-world applications. A/B testing is one of the choice, but as we mentioned above, it is time-consuming and expensive. How can we evaluate the performance of different methods? We may need to create benchmarks with a real-world dataset for evaluation purpose, or we may develop other performance metrics for these real-world applications. In addition to purely observational data, for most of the real-world scenarios, it is often the case that a small set of experimental data is also available. Thus, both the large samples from observational data and the small samples from randomized experience are valuable for causal inference. But how to jointly learn from both of them? This is a promising research direction. After we developing some new methods, this direction can benefit many subtasks in causal inference and improve the performance of existing methods. This setting has some similarities to general semi-supervised learning, which also leads to the last potential direction of causal inference we want to discuss here. That is, connecting causal inference with other research areas such as reinforcement learning, statistical sampling, and transfer learning. For example, from the perspective of reinforcement learning, individual treatment estimation can be viewed as a contextual multi-arm bandit problem, in which the treatment can be regarded as action, the outcome can be regarded as reward, and the background variables can be regarded as contextual information. Arm exploration and exploitation is similar to randomized experimental data and observational data. Therefore, these two areas are very similar and share some critical common challenges. For example, how to get an unbiased outcome, or say reward estimation, or how to handle confounders that affect both the treatment assignment and outcome in causal inference, while for reinforcement learning, that is the confounders that affect both action choice and reward. From the perspective of statistical learning and transfer learning, causal inference is also dealing with the difference between two different but correlated distributions. Can we draw some connections between causal inference and these areas? It would be a very interesting potential research direction. Actually, in the above sessions, we already discussed some multitask learning methods for causal inference, which is very similar to many methods in the transfer learning domain. Finally, we come to conclude our morning session tutorial, that is the machine learning for causal inference. Let's do a simple summary. In this tutorial, after introducing the background of causal inference, we describe the main challenges in causal inference. Then, we describe some traditional methods in these areas, such as the reweighting methods, matching methods, tree-based methods, meta-learning, and multitask learning methods. Then, we connect the causal inference with machine learning, as they share many similarities. As the main part, we introduce the subspace learning approaches for causal inference, and more recently, as deep learning methods enable us to learn better data representations, we also discuss several deep learning methods for causal inference. Last but not least, we present several real-world applications of causal inference and point out several potential research directions motivated by such real-world applications. We hope that this tutorial about causal inference can be helpful. Our slides and a comprehensive survey paper are available for further study. Thanks for watching.